In this module, we're gonna spend the first part of it doing a brief overview of thoughts around video, social video, and some of the thinking and framing that goes when we plan a social video production. But before we start, it's good to talk about the state where we are right now. YouTube started in 2005, and at that time, the primary mean of video consumption was television. The mindset of content creation at the time was creating content for the big screen, for a movie or a TV experience. It is a very different medium today that we are creating for a mobile phone, or the phone and tablets. Um, so we've adapted how we think about creating content for that space for a mobile phone. Um, the underlying of the content in storytelling and messaging, whether it is journalism or marketing or public relations, it hasn't really changed. It doesn't change at all. It is important to know that we are learning a skill and that we are learning how to adapt to a space. The underlying core pillars of how we are going to get to that space, it's they're the same, whether we are creating content for the big screen, the TV, or a mobile device. One way to think about this is a simple framework that will help us guide through the social video production process and how to think like a social video producer, how to think like a video editor, and how to think like a video distributor. The framework we'd like to think about goes from ideation to planning, and these two are essentially pre production. The first phase of ideation is ideation and planning. That is the same whether you are producing video for television, film, or for social media. The second phase is recording the content, collection of the content, and editing the content. And the third phase is sharing the content, distributing it. What changes, especially in social video, is that one person can do it all right now. In the traditional model, you would have one person coming up with the idea, another person coming and executing the idea, and a third person distributing the idea. That's the beauty of the snackable content. There are so many tools out there to do it, and the connection with the audience to share that finished content has been unlocked, which has made an enormous opportunity for individual creators and news agencies and brands to have that connection now and control every aspect of that creation process. So let's talk about ideation. Before you think of what content we are going to create, we've got to think about our audience. Once we figure out the audience and where it is consuming our content, that will help us think of the type of content we'd like to create. Now that you've thought about your audience and platform, the next big thing is going to be to define what is the intent. So remember, we're thinking about our audience, we're thinking about where is our audience consuming the content, and the third part of that is going to be what is our intent. Each of these forms should ask the question, what am I trying to do with my audience? Do I want to inform? Do I want to market an idea? Do I want to empower? Answering these questions are critical in the ideation and planning process. With video, we aim to capture attention early. It doesn't matter if it is a 10-minute documentary or a 5-minute TV package or a 15-second social video story. It is always about those first seconds. It's so important that in social video we capture attention in those first 5 seconds because that's the moment that draws your audience to your story. These 5 seconds vary by platform. In YouTube, the 5 seconds are a thumbnail that users see and click on to see a story. In Twitter or Facebook or Instagram is autoplay. The video autoplay we see on the Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram feed. These platforms will change in 6 months or in 1 year, but starting with a bang in the first 5 seconds is key to your storytelling. So let's do an exercise right now. So you're gonna stop listening to me for a few minutes, and you're gonna open Facebook or Instagram and look for the brand Tasty. T like Tom, A like Apple, S like Sam, T like Tom, Y like YMCA. And then look at some of those videos, many of them, and after you watch some of those videos, take a look at what gets your attention. Okay, you've watched those videos, many of them or some, and you've noticed how in the first 2 seconds of many videos, there are already 3 shots and titles, and before 5 seconds, we know what the video is about. And then it goes right into content. There is no someone telling you, and this is how we cook a meal. It goes boom, boom, shot after shot, and directly into content. What I like about Tasty videos and nowadays and AJ Plus, especially in social media, is that they keep things simple. They try to get only one idea across. It's not trying to create an enormous, gigantic arc. It's just trying to tell audiences one simple idea. It's very important to get very early. It is very important to get this one idea very early on. What is the important message? It's like when we're writing a story for digital or print, when we write the lead. We start off with a message very high up and then we unpack it. It's critical to design these videos so they are watched when the audio is not on. Of course, they have to work with the audio on, because still about 15% of people watch these videos with the audio on. So let's do another exercise. So you're going to stop listening to me right now, and you're going to go to Instagram or Facebook, and you're going to look for videos from Nowadays or AJ Plus or any other videos from channels that present similar videos. And I like you to watch them once with the sound off and then with the sound on. Look at the difference and ask yourself, do they work the same? Do they change depending on whether you're watching them with the sound on or the sound off? So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so now that you've watched some of these videos, you're gonna notice that the text is not a repetition of what a person says. It is an idea that encapsulates the narrative of the story. And this is where the magic of video producers come through. It's very easy to write subtitles and people's dialogues, but what's more interesting is that we can tighten it up, the language, we can tighten it up and bring this idea, this one simple idea of the story. And this is where the magic happens, the writing. How do we create this one simple idea to drive the rest of the time where we are engaging our audience? And this is the end of our ideation and planning stage.